In the short while he had our attention, Lil Jeff loved the number 2.
So you gotta at least have 2 bodies to come to my school, to come to murder school.
Say in one of his songs, you not a killer unless you got 2 bodies.
Exactly, now you get it.
But 2 wasn't just a number, it was a confession. The dots would eventually connect that Lil Jeff had killed 2 kids and bragged about it under everyone's nose.
And poof! Where you at? Gotta go after that.
Well, what most people didn't know was that Lil Jeff and his homie Vert were once close with those 2 kids. Close enough to vlog with them. Close enough to share jewelry with them. So, how does a friendship like that spiral into a double murder outside of Chicago high school? Let's get into it. The day is January 26, 2024, at around 9:19 a.m. 17-year-old Monty, whose real name was Monterio Williams, is seen flexing a watch in his Montclair jacket while partaking in the za with 16-year-old Lil Rob, real name Robert Boston. Monty was just 4 months away from graduating high school, a milestone he would never get to see, because what neither of them knew that morning was that they wouldn't make it past lunch break. The next time they'd be seen was around 12:30 p.m. when they were leaving the Innovations High School, which they attended. Just minutes after walking out, 2 cars suddenly pulled up, several shooters hopped out, and opened fire on the 2 teenagers. When it was all said and done, Monty had been shot 6 times and Rob had been shot 3 times. 22 shell casings from 3 different weapons were recovered at the scene.
Investigators say both teens were shot and killed Friday afternoon near Wabash and Washington Streets as they left school with a group of friends. That's when witnesses say a dark-colored car and a dark-colored SUV pulled up and masked gunmen got out and opened fire.
Here, you can hear the phone call a nearby pedestrian made to the police moments after their death.
Hey, we got 2 people shot. Look like 2 people shot right here. 15, 25.
In other videos, too gruesome for the news or YouTube, you can even see the 2 boys laying out on the ground while the bystanders around them are in a panic. The pair of teenage boys were just 2 of the 11 minors who were shot in the streets of Chicago up until this point that year. And if that wasn't already tragic enough, Rob's mother would later die of a heart attack just 9 months after her son's murder. And although the mayor literally said there was an active investigation for these 2, Blood Hound, Lil Jeff, and his fellow Blood Hound members weren't going to wait around for a long process. So they decided to help out and leave a trail of breadcrumbs for the investigators. To completely understand the beef that led to Rob and Monty's death, you need to understand the close relationship Jeff had with fellow Bloodhound rapper Rel Vert, who actually had ties to BKN, a ruthless gang out of Chicago which Monty and Rob repped. When diving into his old Facebook account, you can see Vert was actually friends with a member of BKN, which is also known as the Jungle. Their friendship was more than just on Facebook. Apparently in 2021, Vert would actually take a trip to Cali with his then BKN brothers. There's even a vlog from J Global Visuals where Rel Vert can be seen in the jungle with the DCG brothers. It could even be heard saying F anyone who's not jungle.
Hey, you know, I'm from the East, got killers from West. CDK, same K, TVLK, whatever they say, K. My side thing, what up?
Eventually, even Jeff himself came close with members of the Jungle. And in this clip, you can see Monty, and you can see Lil Jeff showing off his watch, which was stolen by members of the Jungle just moments after this video. Crazy enough, Jeff actually spoke on the situation during a PSA posted to his Instagram page.
A said, let me take a picture, this, that, and that. I look up, the ran down. We all the way at the top of the staircase first off. I look up, the taking off down the stairs with 5 more extra.
But just like any time a rapper or gangbanger gets their jewelry snatched, it began its tour around the city of Chicago, making appearances in music videos such as Get Back Dot's song Lost My Mind, as well as the song No More Crying, where you can actually see Get Back Dot flaunting Jeff's stolen watch. In a separate video, you can see Monty as well as another kid who's masked up, flexing Jeff's stolen app, demanding $50K for it back. All of this led up to a fallout between the Blood Hounds and BKN. And Rel Vert ultimately decided to side with Lil Jeff and parted ways from his then BKN brothers. And things were made worse when Monty was seen on a hood vlog on the Word from the Trenches channel, where he was walking through the jungle in Chicago with his fellow BKN members. And toward the end of the vlog, Monty could actually be seen on a FaceTime call with Blood Hound Lil Jeff in the background of the vlog doing this.
Shit on my big cousin show, 2 feet B-No shit, really the whole 4L gang. Like I fuck with the whole 4L. Shout out Young Nudie and my cousin too, all my folk down there in the 8. This shit going on for real.
You ain't got nobody in mind like you gotta fuck with like industry-wise like shit.
Shit really like I ain't gonna lie twin. Like,
Good man, we got JL, man.
Hold on y'all, hold on.
Monty was taunting Jeff and asking him where that J at. J standing for jewelry. I don't think I can quantify how crazy this move was. Lil Jeff didn't need a reason to snuff a life. Now he had one. See, at this point, Jeff was already neck deep in the streets and wasn't gonna let this slide. So 6 days later, he decided to do something insane. He killed the 2 young boys in cold blood. And I don't know if he even regretted it. Because soon after the 2 young boys died, Jeff would begin a spree of disses aimed towards the 2 fallen teens. These came in the form of Instagram posts as well as disses in the music. It's even rumored that there were retaliatory shootings in the weeks following their murder. All of these kind of began in early February when Jeff posted, "These kill anybody when they're emotional. Stay safe, all my innocent people. These lost their mind, for real." He would also post a photo of a new tattoo which was 10 teardrops on his neck, signifying his claim of having 10 bodies. Then on February 16th, Lil Jeff dropped Ah, his biggest song to date that has already surpassed 14 million views and counting. Many fans who were already speculating that Jeff was involved with this double murder look at this song as Jeff's admission of guilt. Because in this song he rapped, "Them did what they did and had to pay the consequence." He would also say, "You would think bopping if I told you what I did." Later in the song, Jeff claimed, "When I speak, it's only facts." If that wasn't damning enough, Jeff would later say, "Bounced out 4 sticks, 2 got hit," another reference to the 2 fallen boys. Then later, during an Instagram live, Jeff stated that his ops sending threats is why they have to put it on Lil Rob, possibly talking about Monty's disses towards him.
And that's why Sab ass dead now, cause y'all ass sending threats. They ain't get your mans. You send threats like that, and then your homie go get now you gonna merch it on him next. Now it's on Trent. Now it's on Lil Rob. You know what I'm saying? Now it's on all these new ass.
If that wasn't enough, in another Instagram live, Jeff says he's done giving kids passes, signifying his level of just not giving a at the time.
Kids, they down. I'm done giving kids passes. It's a wrap. You know that if I get mad enough, the will start happening. And y'all know this by now. I went black for like a week and poof, gotta go. After that one, poof, I came back, poof. I don't let them up.
And in a more obvious admission of guilt, Lil Jeff posted a photo with a caption containing 10 hats, signifying each of his 10 alleged bodies. The last 2 hats are graduation caps, which was a reference to the 2 young boys who were gunned down in front of their school. That's right, Jeff's victims don't rest in peace, they rest in pixels. And at this point, Jeff cultivated a pretty huge fan base that was watching his every move, discussing it on forums like Reddit's Chiracology, and they were starting to put together the puzzle pieces Jeff was leaving for them. One of those people who was on Reddit keeping up with the Blood Hound Lil Jeff was showing DJ U, who actually had an interview with Blood Hound Lil Jeff where he asked him about all of his claims he's been making in his music and on IG. DJ U asked Jeff if he had ever got robbed before, to which Jeff responded by reciting the beginning of his lyric, "Them did what they did and had to pay the consequence," possibly alluding to Monty and Rob.
Have someone ever tried to take like some of your belongings from you?
Now listen, I ain't gonna lie. Did run off on me before. I will tell you that. Did what they did.
Jeff was visibly high during this interview and had no problem showing off his favorite drugs, sniffing a perk for the whole world to see. So during a more telling part of the interview, while questioning him about his drug use, DJ U asked Jeff if whatever he was taking was better than sex, to which Jeff had a very interesting answer.
Is it better than sex?
Hell nah.
No?
That's what helped the sex.
They go hand to hand?
Only one thing that's better than sex. And that right there go hand in hand with sex. That right there, that feel like.
In other words, people may think Jeff used drugs to cope with his demons after so much violence and death. But for Lil Jeff, the sex and the perks was like Mario eating a mushroom and stepping on his ops. So you know, Jeff probably snorted a box of perks before he took Monty and Rob without remorse. If this is all shocking to you, then I promise you, understanding his background will make everything clearer. You see, for Jeff, this path seemed inevitable because when you look at how he was raised, he had almost no chance. First of all, Jeff credits his older brother, Jay Boogie, for introducing him to the street life.
So can you tell us like who introduced you to the street life?
My brother.
Your older brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how was he showing you the ropes?
Let me tell you, my crib got shot up when I was like 14. I was some stupid ass. The bullet, that bitch flew like right past my face. They had shot the back and the front. Then they blew the car up and set that on fire. Shit was busting. I ain't gonna lie, it was going on.
One of the most tragic aspects of Jeff's story is that his own family had connections to the very people he would later find himself at odds with. In this photo, you can see a friend of Jeff's dad seen with his son's eventual killer. Jeff has also spoken on how his dad was absent in his life during his early years, a factor that would hinder any young man's growth.
So what was Pops?
Whatever he was, I don't know. We cool now though. That's my boy, but at that, you know how that be, man. He a cool ass though. I fuck with him.
Let's say back then he wasn't around.
Says acting weird. Says acting bogus. He a cool ass though. He be doing what he do.
Although we don't know much about Jeff's mom during his early life, I think it's pretty safe to say she too wasn't the best influence on a young Jeff. In text messages posted by Jeff when he was alive, you could see his mom say, "Go ahead, son, your name ringing bells in the streets." He replied, "It definitely is," to which she said, "I love it, sliding on the slept in the bed with you," a nod to the beef Jeff has with people he used to be close with. Bruh, even Reverend King would have seen thuggin' if this was his mom too. Growing up in Chicago, Jeff, like many kids in the city, found himself drawn to drill music, a genre that's been widely debated for its influence on young listeners. However, Jeff didn't see drill as a negative influence. To him, it was fuel.
Drill music is a main important part to everything that go on. That shit is motivation for the trenches. You be hearing that shit they be talking about. That shit make you want to get in your Congo. That shit go good for you. That music inspire a lot of kids though. That shit.
You see, in high school, Jeff played basketball and claimed that when he didn't make the varsity team, he knew he had to do something else with his life. Personally, I'd have suggested comedy, because this man was funny as hell. But hey, the man made his choice. However, unlike some who start younger, Jeff claims he didn't fully step into the streets until he was about 18.
So around what age did you jump off the porch and start hanging out in the streets?
I'm saying when I came outside for real, I was like 18 type shit.
Okay.
I just turned like 18.
Okay.
But the shit I'm doing now is shit I've been seeing my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I told you I got an older brother. So this shit ain't nothing new for real. It's the same shit I've been seeing. Everything I was doing, I just saw already.
That's when he became a member of Drill City, a street gang rooted in 79th Street and Maryland Avenue on Chicago's South Side, operating under the larger Lawn City hood. And it was within Drill City that a younger, more ruthless alliance began to form the Blood Hounds. That's when he became a member of Drill City, a ruthless gang that branched off from the Lone City gang in Chicago. Eventually, around 2013, some of the guys in Drill City started to form their own alliance within the gang, the Blood Hounds, with this being one of the earliest tweets we can find mentioning the gang. But according to chiricologists on Reddit and YouTube, the thing that actually pushed Bloodhound Lil Jeff over the edge and turned him into the serial killer he claims to have been was the death of his close friend Z-Money, which is a name that Jeff as well as Q50 have tattooed on their faces. He was shot on March 16th, 2023, while sitting in a car at Avalon Park. Sadly, by the time he got to the hospital, he was already dead. The craziest part was the doctors telling his mother that they stopped counting the bullet holes in his body once they got to 29. And according to Jeff himself, this murder made him turn his savage up in the ruthless streets of Chicago.
It been these niggas. I ain't gonna lie, my homie dad, that's on my face, she's right here.
See money?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was super these after that. Everybody after that.
Okay, I see Z Money on his face as well. Y'all share the same tattoo.
Another.
From this point forward, Jeff had a chip on his shoulder while moving through the streets, and Z Money's death broke the over 10-year alliance Drill City had with Trap City. Sadly, with the new lifestyle Jeff was living, he was only going to end up in one of two places, either dead or in jail. And for Jeff, his time came on June 8th, 2024, when he was killed while on a drill. And just like most rappers who die nowadays, his death was caught on camera. In one shot, you could see multiple men hop out of a car. In another, you could see Jeff running after his op, who was running into their house. That's when someone inside the house opened fire on Jeff, killing him right on the front porch. When it was all said and done, Jeff suffered 19 bullets to the body, and dozens of shell casings were found at the scene. The police scanner audio during the shooting was also leaked, and it tells a very chilling story.
Multiple shell casings, 6641 South Rose, on the front and the sidewalk on the front porch as well. 6641 South Rose. Alright, they saying somebody's doing a self-transport right now. They telling my partner on the phone. We trying to figure out what car took them. 306 Adam.
Yeah, 306 Adam. One of the residents at 6641 says they threw a guy in a car and they're on their way to the hospital. I got some blood drops on 6641.
When police got there, Jeff's body was nowhere to be found. That's because Q50 allegedly went back to retrieve it. There's even a blurry image from the footage which looks like Q50 and another man carrying little Jeff's body. His friends and family mourned his death. This included his dad, who posted a picture saying, "F the world." Q50 even responded, saying that he's going to do what Jeff told him to do. In an interview with DJ U, Rel Vert even spoke about how he felt losing Lil Jeff.
So, you know, we saw, I guess, what happened on camera or whatever. Lil Jeff lost his life. How has that affected you, since?
His brother, it's my twins and shit, I don't feel that shit hurt. Like, it's my brother,
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't stop. For what?
He would even say that Jeff was going to live through him, adding that he was even going to get a pendant with Jeff's face to memorialize his fallen Blood Hound member.
Well, this shit don't stop. Shit all gonna still go on. Brother gonna live through us, And my brother, I feel with a big ass face pendant on my shorty.
The craziest response of all was probably from Jeff's dad, who said, "The saga continues," and "clear the streets." Commenters under this post called his dad a goofy that failed his son, wondering how he could talk about him like he was some member in a gang. But in some sense, he was right, and the saga did continue, because although Jeff was dead, the disses towards Monty and Rob were still coming. When Grade A Productions dropped his posthumous album, Steppin' in Blood, he would often rap about doing things in pairs, referencing the two young boys. During his song spot News, he rapped, "Everything I do it twice. If you know, you know." He would also rap, "Two died, one hit. Bitch, that's a 2-in-1. This amount of self-snitching just shows that even if Jeff didn't die due to his wild ways, he could very well be behind bars for this heinous double murder. I mean, during all of this, the feds were watching and paying close attention to all of the Bloodhound members. So criminal justice for Monty and Rob came on January 29th, 2025, when 22-year-old Tommy Coleman, aka Bloodhound T-Slick, was arrested after being identified as one of the three shooters who killed the two teens during their lunch break. He was formally charged 2 days later on January 31st, and on February 1st, a judge ordered him held without bail, calling it a horrific offense. According to the prosecutors, they were tipped off to one of the three shooters after a video was posted only 15 minutes after the shooting. The video in question was this one right here. Although I don't advise any of you guys to do crimes, if you do, please don't post about it on the internet. According to CBS News, after seeing this video, a witness actually identified Jeff, Tommy Coleman, and their other accomplice. And it wasn't just T-Slick facing charges. Just days later, on February 3rd, 2025, a second suspect was arrested. 20-year-old James Allison was picked up by Chicago PD and U.S. Marshals in Crown Point, Indiana. Here's the wild part. Allison was a student at Innovations High School himself. He went to school with the same 2 kids he helped murder. Allison was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, aggravated discharge of a firearm, and unlawful possession of a weapon. Just like T-Slick, he was denied bail, and according to CWB Chicago, investigators say there was a 3rd accomplice who died last year. Fans on Reddit believe that this suspect was Bloodhound Lil Jeff. And the timing lines up perfectly. Prosecutors confirmed the 3rd gunman died in June 2024, the exact same month Jeff got hit on that porch. Some fans even went as far as saying if Jeff was alive, he would have been cooked, which honestly seems pretty accurate. At some point, a search warrant was served for Little Jeff's Instagram account, which led to the CPD finding that video, which was taken in a stolen SUV about 18 minutes after the double murder. And not just any SUV. Prosecutors confirmed the Infiniti had been stolen from a University of Chicago parking lot 4 days before the murder. After the shooting, the trio didn't just dip. They fled down Wabash onto DuSable Lake Shore Drive, hit I-55, and ended up all the way in suburban Dalton and Calumet City, where they swapped out the license plates with another Infiniti to throw investigators off their scent. The plan didn't work. Investigators also used GPS tracking on their cellular devices to see that a teenage gunman from the Innovations High School changed his clothes and left the campus walking to a nearby parking garage, where footage showed him stealing an Infiniti to do the hit in. In fact, this GPS tracking showed all 3 suspects' phones were together before, during, and after the double murder. And when Judge William Fahey ordered T-Slick held without bail, he didn't mince words. He called it a horrific offense and said, and I quote, "The defendant and his cohorts ambushed teenagers. It doesn't get much more violent than that." With the evidence piling up against Lil Jeff and his crew, it's clear that the choices he made and the life he lived were leading him down a dark, inevitable path, especially in the case of the killing of Monty and Rob in downtown Chicago. Whether it was the trail of breadcrumbs he left in his music and social media posts, or the surveillance and witness testimonies tying him to the crimes, it seems unlikely that Jeff would have been a free man if he were alive today. Do you think Jeff would have turned his life around if he had lived longer, or was he too far gone to escape the streets? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.